Welcome back. It's episode 18. We're still here. You're still here, and that's the most important thing. And Sandra Baskin, co-host, Darren Annisfeld, co-host, and myself. We are so happy to have our guest today, Beka. Just goes by the name Beka. And she recommended something to me about 3 years ago that has totally changed my life, because without it, I would be sitting in some wheelchair somewhere. I had some mysterious thing going on with me in my hips. It was very painful. And I had every doctor on the North Shore x-raying me, giving me MRIs, and absolutely nothing was showing up. And I'm complaining about my pain, and Beka heard, and she said she had something that might help me. And it was CBD oil, which I had never heard of at that time. So I said, well, I've tried everything else. Let me try it. And I bought the lowest dose, 300 milligrams, and started taking it every morning and night. And about 2 weeks later, I got up one morning and I realized that I didn't have any pain. And I'm telling you, before that, I couldn't even turn over in bed. The pain was so, I was just like a stiff, paralyzed board.
Wow.
I just got out of bed like a normal person that morning. And I said, is that the CBD oil doing that? So I quickly got online and ordered all kinds of bottles more, because I knew I was onto something. And I did end up getting a bigger dose. I went with the highest dose possible. And I've been taking it ever since. And it's been 3 years, and I'm walking around like a normal person. I'm active, I'm happy. And this is the lady right here, Beka. What you got to say for yourself?
Let's hear all about it.
Thanks. I'll give my little personal experience of why I got into it. Is I have had a chronic condition since I was 19 years old, and always in a lot of pain. I ended up on 3 different medications, of course, because that's all there was to do back then. And after 20 plus years using them, I suddenly became ill. And I'm talking, I was taking lots of it, over and above even what was recommended. And none of it was also doing the job. So consequently, that's probably also what contributed to making me sick. And then I heard about CBD, not even from somebody I knew at all, and more or less an advertisement or something. And I said, well, I'm gonna go look this up. And so also it ended up being a business opportunity as well. So you better believe I did my research. And I take a different thing than Sandy takes, and I'm at the very, very highest with something else. And it does indeed work. And I am 3.5 years, no medications.
Wow.
And I went cold turkey off of them because I had to. And so it's great. I would recommend it to anybody to try, for sure.
Now, are there many different companies that make this available? Or are there only a few? How did you decide on the company that you're using?
Well, as I said, for a business opportunity, at the time I was doing it, there were only 2 companies. And I went with the company that provides third-party lab testing, which proves what they say is in the bottle is in the bottle. And today, that is the #1 rule for anybody shopping for CBD oil. You make sure that whoever you pick is transparent about that, because a friend of mine called me and said a certain medical show on TV had a show on saying, oh my God, all these CBD companies, there's lead in it. Well, I know for a fact mine is fine. There were also lots of reports where they would take random testings of like 13 bottles here and there. And in both those random testings, only 1 bottle out of each testing even had CBD oil in it. There were things like gross feces, ethanol. So there is no regulations when it comes to doing CBD. The FDA does crack down on, in order for it to be legal CBD in 50 states, which it is, the THC amount, which is the part that can give a little bit of psychotropic effect, but not in the amounts that is in CBD. So the legal amount is 0.3% of THC. My company, because in order to expand across the globe, rules are different everywhere, and that is 0.1%. So the full spectrum is the part that has the THC. If you just get isolate CBD, you won't have that THC in. I personally cannot tolerate a high at all, and so this was a definite good choice for me.
So I am taking full spectrum. Seems like,
You know, I haven't looked at what you ordered, but if it says full spectrum, that is, you'll have the.
I'm pretty sure it does on the bottle, and you
THC.
said that does have a little bit of THC in it,
Yes, full spectrum does.
but I don't get a high from it.
No, there you
Not enough.
won't. You won't. There is, because that amount is not like, you know, what people are thinking. People think CBD oil and they think, my God, marijuana. It is not. And specifically, if it's made from the hemp part of the plant, that's why it's legal. Now, like I said, it is legal in 50 states, but each state has their own little FDA restrictions. I'm not sure what they are because I don't live in every other state. I just know that it's legal here. But there's a lot of people, including cops, including security guards at airports, things that who just still don't have enough knowledge. And, you know, when I went to Istanbul, you all remember I went there, there's no way I could carry my CBD there, because I would have been jail blocked. You would never heard from me ever again.
Because of their laws in Turkey?
Yeah, it's yeah. Mm-mm.
So people traveling with their CBD oil might not know that. And
right, even domestically. That's why if you're traveling domestically, you should check that state's laws, because they could have just confiscated this at the airport. They might not have arrested me, because there's some, if they think it's illegal, that, you know, but I've said, well, I'm not even going to take the chance. So I went online and found a multiple herb pill that I started taking the month before I left. And then I was only gone 10 days. So it was in my system already for a month. And then I continued to take it those 10 days. I didn't feel, but of course I tossed the bottle as soon as I got home and, you know, went back on this, you know. So.
Beka,
Yes.
question, please. You just said a minute ago that each state has its own little FDA rules, but isn't FDA federal across the country?
Well, I'm gonna read a thing that I took directly from the internet, so this isn't going to be coming from my lips, which is why I always state, no matter what I'm doing, I Google everything. So all 50 states say that CBD from hemp plant is legal, but have some sorts of restrictions. That's all I said. But if it's a marijuana derived CBD products are illegal on the federal level. So it says to check your state's laws for anywhere that you're traveling.
I gotcha.
And that's all I can do. See, these are non-prescription. You're talking non-prescription CBD products. They're not necessarily FDA approved.
So what thing that you just read said that the CBD that comes from marijuana and the CBD that we're taking comes from the hemp portion of marijuana?
Yes.
Okay.
That's why it's legal. Right.
I have a local store that sells, I guess, a lot of natural products and vitamins and so forth, and they sell CBD oil right there in the store. So this is the same kind of thing you're talking about?
Sure, there is CBD everywhere, but as I mentioned earlier about that, without regulations, anybody can put anything in it. And when I Googled, I actually copied this sentence off of there when I said the number one reason for shopping for CBD is you always look for third-party testing.
Yeah.
So, and my company gives a 60-day empty bottle guarantee on every single product that they do. Number one, that's how confident they are in it. But number two, there you go. People say, well, that wasn't strong enough. So let's say someone bought, like Sandy, you said you started at 300 and they didn't do anything for you, but you weren't going to give up and say, oh, it just didn't work. So you're going to go up to the next level. You could have returned that bottle minus the, shipping fee or whatever, and just bought another bottle of the higher strength. So people say, well, I want to sample it. Now I have gone in person and sampled. It's difficult because I have to put it in a separate, but that was before, the pandemic.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Right. And there are people, and this is important, the absence of people say, well, I didn't notice anything right away. I did it to a lady having coffee. We had hot chocolate somewhere. I said, I gave her the water soluble that I have, which goes in your system when you put it under your tongue, it goes into your system quicker. In 20 minutes, I said, well, you might have felt something, but everybody's endocannabinoid system is different. That just means, let me backtrack for that. Humans, mammals, birds, fish, reptiles, we all have that endocannabinoid system. That is a built-in system in your body that has receptors that are built to receive CBD oil. And I only actually read this today because I did not know this, that in dogs, the receptors in their brain for receiving CBD is bigger than in humans.
Wow.
So the effect that they get from it is better even. Yeah. Okay, I lost my train of thought there for a second.
I did get some for our Bitsy when she was having her anxiety attacks for thunderstorms, and it definitely calmed her right down.
Yeah, and even that, people say, well, I'm afraid to give it to my dog, and I don't know, but it's the same thing, whether it's humans or dog. They can't overdose on it. You can't become addicted to it or build up a tolerance for it. There are people who put the drops, if they don't use little gummy chewies, they put the drops into the gums. Some put the drops into the water bowl. It really depends. I think I said to Sandy on Bitsy's scar, you could have just put some oil lightly on that and let it, and it would have done nicely for her. As
For
far
anybody
as
that doesn't know who Bitsy is,
Yeah.
who might be listening to us, this is Sandy Gulliver's wonderful dog.
right.
Famous on Facebook.
Yeah.
Famous, yes.
Famous she is, of course, but a lot of people might not know that. So they might think you were saying, you put this stuff on your daughter's leg or what.
Little Bitsy, my little daughter Bitsy. No, my dog Bitsy.
Yeah.
So tell me that story you told me about when you had to go on stage that time.
Okay. I had a little bit of a break in between theater shows, like 7 years, because I was busy working indie film. I didn't quit theater. I just didn't, happen that way. So I was cast in something where I wasn't going to leave the stage except twice. And I was going to be performing a one night only performance in front of a 1,000-seat theater.
Wow.
That's a little bit of pressure.
No kidding.
So, also, I should mention in rehearsal, I had gone up on my lines, so I was really extra fearful. Not that I didn't know my lines, but, like I said, it's been a while. So I had my bottle. So I'm backstage pacing towards going, okay, I got 2 hours. I'm just going to throw some in, put it under my tongue, and I waited the 20 minutes. Went, no, that's not enough. I better take another dose. No, that wasn't enough. And I then realized, oh my gosh, I've only got this little bit of left. And I said, forget measuring. I'm just going to chug it, stuck it under my tongue. And then I just said, that's it. And then suddenly every bit of fear, every bit of anxiety, every bit of stress, tense muscles, I was just overly calm. Well, then a little thought in my
Mellow
head.
fellow.
Yeah. Then my little thought went, oh my God, am I so calm? I'm going to forget all my lines.
Yeah.
And I didn't even let that permeate enough to do any damage. I don't think it could have anyway. But what it did was, without all of that gone and missing, I was just laser focused. So I made not one mistake. In fact, I did the best performance even then at all the rehearsals up until, and I couldn't have been happier. And it, trust me, it was due to this. Well, I mean, my skills and or memories, but I mean, you know what I mean? I mean,
Of course.
it was great. It was wonderful.
It's quite a story.
It's your adjunct help.
A good
Okay.
endorsement for all the people who get nervous going on stage, and that's everybody.
Yes. So how is this different from going into your local cannabis shop now and purchasing whatever it is that they sell? I've never actually had the pleasure of it, so I don't know.
Well, I'm assuming you just mean a regular store, not a medicinal marijuana medical place. You're
No, I
talking.
mean medicinal medical marijuana.
Well, you
I
have to have,
Yeah, I unfortunately cannot speak to medicinal marijuana because that has nothing to do with hemp CBD. But any store that sells gummies, whatever they are, I know that my company does third-party lab testing on the bottles. That's for sure. They have to have it on bottles, not any other things in the store. We are also registered in the hemp registry. This little QR code on the bottles, you just, you take a picture of your phone and it'll show that we're in the hemp registry, which is also very important. That makes you, look what legal,
right.
more believable. So that's important. And then also there is no store that I can walk into that is going to tell me we're going to offer you a 60-day empty bottle guarantee.
What does that mean exactly? 60-day empty bottle guarantee.
You used it.
Right.
All.
You used it all. So this is normally probably would last somebody their 30 days. I know you buy a 3-set, Sandy, I believe, right? And I don't know how long your bottles, and a bottle can last a month, or you may use a whole bottle in half a month. It probably depends on how many dosages you do. I definitely, last a month. So you try it and you did it for a whole month and it didn't work, or not enough to your satisfaction, you can return it, minus obviously shipping, and get your money back. And you can still order something else. You can't order that same strength again and then go, oh, I tried it again, it didn't do that.
Now it works.
but you can do that. I have only had 2 returns in 3.5 years of selling this product, and they were both from people who said, well, it just didn't work. I tried it for whatever it is, the 2, I tried this and it didn't work. Well, I said, you could have gone up in strength. I can discuss with you, tell me how much pain you're in, tell me, so there's a lot of people who don't ask my advice and then just go and buy stuff. And then I just go, oh, but we discussed something else. Why did you do that?
Oh.
Did they give it enough time? Because in my instance, it took at least 2 weeks for it to kick in.
Right. This took 20 minutes for me, but mine took my initial, I ordered the plain old 500 Spectrum. I didn't start at 3 because I knew 3 would do nothing. And I will say immediately within an hour that I felt it didn't get rid of all my pain, but I definitely felt a difference of things I was able to move that I was not able to move before.
Wow.
And it isn't that you look for something, it's what you described, Sandy. You suddenly realized, you got up one day and went, oh, wait a minute. There's no pain there.
Yeah.
It's not like you were conscious of it. It's just something you went, whoa. So that's what they say. You notice the absence of.
Yeah. Because I just swung my legs over the side of the bed and I got up. And then only after I was making the bed did I realize, wait, That's weird.
Yeah, because I sat at my computer working and I was like, okay, what am I gonna feel? You know, is it gonna do something? I'm waiting, and I didn't. So it was just a natural movement I was making, and I went, oh, I don't usually do that.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
it
right.
must be this, but I knew it wasn't strong enough, period, because I knew I needed a lot more. So when the company came out with this Super 1000 with the CBDA in it, which adds a little bit more, we could talk. When CBD oil is made, there's grades, and I may not be saying this correctly, but CBGA is the mother of all cannabinoids. It is the strongest and purest form. The other forms of it stem from that. I think that's how that goes. CBDA is the step up, the raw form of CBD. When you're making the heat process, you lose some of those rawer forms. And depending on the process, the grade goes down or whatever. So this company found a way to keep the CBDA intact. And they also, I believe their percentile is they put 6 times more CBDA, because they're probably not the only company to figure out how to do that, in their bottle. But nobody has the formula 10x pure, which makes it water soluble and it goes into the system quicker. So that's why when I switched to this, the difference of my other strength and non-water soluble is, I just noticed in 20 minutes, I could tell.
Yeah, that
Okay,
makes
so
sense.
we've determined it works.
But
on
that's
pain.
me, but everybody's system is different.
We determined it works with anxiety and it works on pain. What else?
I'm going to read a Google list, ladies, because that's what I do. Because I could just list a thing and then go, oh, but I'd rather it be. So just regular CBD with no THC. Some of the things it helps with are seizures, inflammation, pain, psychosis or mental disorders, inflammatory bowel disease, nausea, migraines, depression, anxiety.
Wow.
The THC.
Well, that covers my life.
The THC helps with the following: pain, muscle spasticity. Boy, does it do that. Glaucoma, insomnia, low appetite, nausea, and anxiety. So this is what I tell everybody is Google. Google, Google, Google. We have a customer Facebook page. Anybody that's really, so I go, well, I don't have any customers that I have experience with that I can answer that question for you. Let me add you to our customer Facebook page, and that little bar on the side where you can type in, I would say dog anxiety. Before you, Sandy, I didn't have any dog owners with anxiety. They had other things, but I couldn't speak to one thing in specific. So I said, just type dog anxiety or rainstorms or something. And then it would bring up however many people in that customer who've had that experience, what it did to their dog, what they fed them, how many drops, and size is different, your chronic pain, everybody's pain level is different. After, from 19 to now, I have a very high tolerance for pain. So when mine is very, very bad, and John will say something, if she says it's bad, it's like 10 times what normal pain is.
Oh.
So if she's in pain, trust me, I know. So for me to say that, on my chronic days, I will do 5 doses. There are days where I can just live with what I've got and just do 1. It really depends on what is escalating in your body. So they also have a skincare line. When I say CBD isn't just for ingesting, eating gummies, what have you, it also helps inflammation in the face. You know, if you have rosacea, all these sorts of things. And I only use this CBD skincare line. So when people say to me, well, your skin is great, or whatever it is, I just say, they hate for me to say it because I'm a broken record.
Yeah,
You know,
but you do have very lovely skin.
oh, thank you.
For sure.
So,
It's
okay.
the one thing that I always notice about you. You change your persona and your look and on a dime. I mean, you can just,
Yeah.
you have that so perfect that it's always interesting to see who's going to show up on Facebook because you're just a master of that.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes it's for a role. Yes, Sandy, she's gotten into the wigs too. And sometimes it's just for fun. I mean, that's me. I'm glad you enjoy it.
I do.
I like it better when it gets me something, you know. But yeah, it's always a joy.
It's fun to watch, no question.
I don't think many people know what your real hair looks like.
Did you have bets I was going to show up in a wig or my real hair? Be honest, ladies.
We didn't bet, but I was
No.
wondering. And when I showed Dan a picture of you that you had posted on Instagram of one of your auditions recently, he said it was another wig, maybe even that one. And he said, I never would have known that was her.
Yeah.
And you guys have seen me
He's only seen you in your natural state.
Right, exactly. He's only seen me in person in natural state. Yeah. Yep.
So,
Yep.
well, we've run out of time. That little buzzer thing, that was the cue. And so I just want to tell everybody that the website where they can find out more about the product that you sell will be included, the link to it will be included under the video of the YouTube video when it's aired starting Wednesday. All of our new episodes come out Wednesday at noon.
And by all means, CBD oil is still to most people and in some areas very uncharted waters. But for me, for 3.5 years, and it's what I do, and I don't take any other medications, it's great. But there's so many questions. There's never ending questions. So please also put my phone number there. I am more than happy to spend at length talking about it.
Will do.
That's good to know.
Oh, any last comments, ladies?
Oh, I really appreciate all the information you've given us.
Yeah,
It's
thanks for
wonderful.
coming on.
Thank you, Beka.
Thank you. And what you guys are all doing here, it's phenomenal. It's a
Thank
great idea. And it's great for everybody's mental health as well as everything else.
It's kept us in. It's kept us insane. It's kept us insane. I said.
Oh yeah,
Probably more the truth.
we're still goofy. That was nice of you to say that, Beka. Thank you. We try. Yeah.
All right, ladies. Thank you so
Right.
much.
All right.
Thanks for having me on, and I look forward to the next episodes myself.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Well, with that, then.
Thanks.
Goodbye, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
Bye.
Hello, everyone. Bye-bye.